And we can, if we know how to build on this opinion, we can carry all before us. My union, the Scottish Teachers Union, is by no means towards the radical end of the trade union spectrum. They voted overwhelmingly for boycott of Israel at our last AGM. If they can do it, I tell you, most other unions in the world can do it as well. And I'll finish by saying this. Sylvie Lipney, daughter of a proud terrorist, called off her visit to Britain because she was afraid of being arrested. Before her, Doron Almog, a violent thug who supervised crimes in Gaza, his plane landed at Heathrow Airport. The plane sat on the tarmac. The Metropolitan Police, and sometimes I've confronted them on the end of their truncheons, but the Metropolitan Police were waiting with handcuffs for General Doron Almog of Israel for prosecution of a war criminal. The El Al plane sat on the tarmac and he skulked off back to Israel. Every time Israeli politicians and generals travel abroad, already, not in the future, now, they get a briefing on the dangers of being arrested for war crimes. And that's before we crank up this campaign going away from here into the year 2010. I think this is not just a wonderful document, it is an actual programme for very realistic action. Another datum, if I may. If you've got a spare £1 million, there's a company you can employ, and they'll do very serious research on branding. You know, if you want to know what people think about Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, anything at all, you hire these guys, you've got £1 million, and they'll tell you what people really think. There's no bullshit because it's real money. Israel was the guest, I nearly said the guest ale, we do this in pubs in Britain. Israel was the addition for 1 year from outside Europe and North America. They added Israel and they said, what do you think about Italy? You know, very romantic. What do you think about Scots? Idiots and so on. But what do you think about Israel? Israel came bottom of every single poll as a rotten image. Not something you want your product ever to be associated with. And that's telling us that if we know how to translate this anger, this contempt, this hostility to Israeli crime into action, you just need to know 3 words: boycott, divestment and sanctions. Boycott, divestment and sanctions. And if you say, who the hell is this guy saying it here in a police patrolled square in Cairo? Think about Father Miguel de Scotto Brockman, the UN General Assembly President last year, a Nicaraguan freedom fighter. The President of the UN General Assembly called for a worldwide campaign of boycott, divestment and sanctions against apartheid Israel. And he said, call a dog and call something apartheid. Call it apartheid, because that's the only word that fits. We have an endorsement from the highest level to the lowest level. So friends, I'm not really going to the West Bank anymore. I've been about 10 times. And I don't like begging Israeli soldiers to do anything. They're a bunch of violent thugs who brutalize Palestinians and who are pretty much pitiless and merciless. I want to fight where we're strong and they're weak. And that's pretty much everywhere on the planet outside the apartheid state of Israel. Somebody wants to address you with a few words.
Until they lift the siege of Gaza.
Okay, I just wanted to add a few things. I don't want to be anticlimactic. I want to say a few more things. First of all, what our plan is for the rest of the meeting. We would like to ask delegates from the different delegations to come together. It's only 7:30, so if we could come together about 9 o'clock or so at the Lotus Hotel, we would be able to begin to talk about how to put together a structure that would allow us to continue this effort. But I'm really begging you, I know this is of great interest to everyone, but I am begging you to send delegates, because you know the size of that room, and you know that we can't get done what we need to get done with people hanging down the stairwell. So please just take this fact that you've got an hour and a half or more to try to get a delegate from your organization to come and attend that meeting if you want to participate going forward. Second of all, what we'd like to do with the rest of this meeting, because we know that people have already been talking about things they'd like to do, and we'd like to get a little group inspiration, is we'd like people who have already been thinking of ideas of how they'd like to follow up on this march to take this megaphone and just give a very brief, and by I mean very brief, I mean to say, in Montana we decided we want to do X. Don't give us a big motivation. Everybody has plenty of motivation. Don't just give ideas so that people can get some sense of the creativity, enormous creativity which was demonstrated in this entire effort. Where we started with suitcases to go to Gaza, and we ended up with street demonstrations that I know that half of us thought we could never even pull off in the face of an enormous police presence. And lo and behold, those flags went up, and those formations took place, and we succeeded in doing them. That's the creativity and inspiration we want to spread around. There are a few people I would really like to thank who worked really tirelessly on this, who haven't been quite so visible. And I'd say, really, I'm not trying to single out people to the detriment of the work of others, but people who haven't been quite so visible would be Ann Wright, who spent tremendous amounts of time negotiating with the Egyptian government. This is not the most fun job anybody would have, as you can well imagine. But if Ann is here, I think we'd like her to show her face. If she's not, maybe she's getting some well-deserved rest.
L'apertura del conclusivo.
Cairo, Egypt, to go all the way on Gaza. As we put this thing together, as 100 people signed up, 200 people signed up, 300, and then in November, all of a sudden a surge of wonderful, beautiful people who are totally concerned about the people of Gaza. We need to be trying to work with okay, we certainly will. I totally agree with you. I want to say we put our heart and soul into trying to move this government to get us into Gaza. We hope that we will be able, or you all too will be able, as your smaller delegations make applications to go into Gaza. You have to keep after it. Go in small delegations. I think that's really the key of it. But I want to thank you all so very, very much for all of your dedication. Keep up the great work, and let's get the siege ended in Gaza. Thank you. One more. I have to say this is a group of people, and this is one of the terrible things when people work in committees, is that groups of people tend to get recognized by the person who is the head of the committee. But I think that we have to recognize our media committee.